Sometimes the best challenges are the ones you give yourself.
Hey, come on!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game fan challenges.
You can tag along if you want, but keep your head down and try not to do anything stupid.
For this list, we'll be looking at challenges invented by fans, where the game is played differently than how it was originally intended by its developers. We're ruling out speedruns because we already have a list dedicated to the best games for that technique. And rather than ranking challenges by relative difficulty, we'll be looking at how innovative and creative they are. Number 10, 2020-2020 mode, Five Nights at Freddy's. After the completion of the game, as well as the bonus 6th night, the player unlocks the ability for a custom night, allowing you to set the difficulty for each animatronic enemy ranging from 0 to 20, with anything above 13 being described as incredibly difficult. Winning with all 4 set to 20, dubbed 2020-2020 mode or Nightmare mode by fans, was believed by creator Scott Cawthon to be impossible. He was shocked and congratulatory when a handful of players proved him wrong, prompting him to add a 3rd star to the main menu and a new ending for completing the challenge. Number 9, Law Abiding Citizen, Grand Theft Auto 3 to 5. One of the things that makes the Grand Theft Auto franchise so fun is the absolute mayhem one can unleash in a demented rampage of crime.
Alright man, you cool.
That's why this challenge takes a ridiculous amount of restraint by doing everything in one's power to complete the game while committing as little crime as possible.
I don't want to make a big deal about this, okay?
It varies from game to game, but it is often possible to beat the game committing a minimal amount of murders and only collecting a handful of stars. What's the point, you ask? Then you clearly don't get it, man. Number 8, No Ring Challenge, Sonic the Hedgehog series. For a game that requires speed and throwing caution to the wind, completing this challenge requires a huge amount of patience and precision. As levels are designed to have players naturally obtain rings while making their way forward, creative and intricate alternate routes to reaching the end of the level are required, and often need the use of enemies as momentum and perfect timing. Making the challenge even more difficult is the fact that the rings essentially act as the player's health, meaning with no rings, a single hit will kill poor Sonic. Number 7, Dark License to Kill, Goldeneye 007 and Perfect Dark. Rare's revolutionary first-person shooter Goldeneye, as well as its critically acclaimed spiritual successor Perfect Dark, have remained popular for nearly 2 decades after their initial release.
Oh my god!
After mastering every mission on all difficulties, gamers devised a challenge that turned every generic soldier virtually invincible by cranking up the enemy's health, damage, and accuracy to maximum, typically meaning 1000%. The challenge has proved to be one of the most difficult of all time, as no one was able to beat the silo level of Goldeneye until 2013, when it was conquered by Adam Boson, while the level Attack Ship Covert Assault in Perfect Dark remains unbeaten to this day. Number 6, You Only Live Once, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Watch your target!
This challenge, first created by YouTuber Many a True Nerd, not only requires the player to make it through the game without dying, but without healing of any kind, while any ailments inflicted upon the player are not to be cured.
Radiation, crippled limbs, low HP, all 100% permanent.
With every single hit being permanent, every piece of equipment and armor that can be obtained is essential, as is selecting the right perks at the beginning of the game.
Guns is obviously one that I'll be going for as well, because I do need to be able to use guns very, very easily.
The run-through becomes an almost mathematical equation for minimizing risk and maximizing any chance of survival, in a utilitarian run that requires extensive knowledge of the game's mechanics.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It'd be like them to keep paperwork.
Number 5, No Bonfire Run, Dark Souls 2. Much like its predecessor, Dark Souls 2 utilizes bonfires which act as checkpoints, as well as a way to heal, level up, and fast travel between zones. all of which are practically essential to completing the game. However, an experienced player can forego healing by not resting at bonfires, and some truly intense players don't even like the bonfires, meaning no checkpoints and no death. The challenge became so popular that the developers even inserted an item for completing it, the illusory Ring of the Exalted. The powerful item causes any weapon you're holding to become invisible, which is a real benefit for PvP play. Number 4. 3-Day Challenge, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. There have been plenty of challenges invented by fans of the Zelda franchise, dating all the way back to the very first Zelda game, and there's even a challenge that requires you to beat the game without ever obtaining a sword. The most interesting challenge for a Zelda game, however, utilizes the unique 3-day system of Majora's Mask. After the initial 3 days as Deku Scrub, it's actually possible to get through the game in one cycle, that is with intense planning and using the inverted Song of Time. With many time-sensitive events, even one mistake could spell a premature end to a player's run. Number 3. Always War, Civilization series. There are a number of ways to win a game of Civilization, and diplomacy, allies, and building an empire during peacetime can be crucial to claiming victory. However, for anyone attempting this challenge, that's all gone out the window. As the name implies, the player instantly declares war on every other civilization they come across, never allowed to make peace. A beefy military is essential, as in many cases the player finds him or herself in a dozen wars at once, and facing off the endless hordes of enemy troops takes no small amount of planning and luck. Number 2. Beat a non-musical game using an instrument. Over the years, there have been a number of gaming peripherals, and gamers have used those to beat a variety of games that they were never intended for.
Derek, you got this. Oh, no, left. Run away. Oh my God.
One of the earliest well-known examples was a Japanese gamer using a rod from a fishing game to play through ultra-hard mode of the original Soul Calibur. The popularity of Guitar Hero and Rock Band have led many gamers to use the guitar, drums, and DDR dance pads in all kinds of games they were definitely never meant for.
Woo! Done.
These bizarre controllers severely handicap gamers, requiring precise skill and timing for even the simplest of actions. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I give up.
Number 1. Nuzlocke Challenge, Pokemon series. For many of the more experienced Pokemon players, having played since Red and Blue, completing a normal Pokemon run through lacks a certain level of difficulty. The challenge, originally taken from the Nuzlocke webcomic, found a simple but creative way to correct this. While variations exist, 2 basic rules are consistent. One may only catch the first Pokemon encountered in a new area, and when a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and must be released. Not only does this challenge make the game considerably more difficult, it also forges a stronger bond with the limited amount of Pokemon the player can catch by making it imperative to keep those Pokemon alive. Do you agree with our list? Which fan challenge is your favorite? For more inventive top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
We'd just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the 2 of us. Now, if some of the other people in town were also on board...